Today, with a cell phone, you can pretty much do it all: talk, text, and communicate with pictures. But what about bonding with a close friend? Do you prefer social media or face-to-face contact? We asked students at UCLA.
I feel closest when we talk face-to-face.
When you do the text, you cannot feel like their emotions. And sometimes the text makes you confused.
Well, I suppose I'm a little old school, so I prefer the face-to-face always with my friends. I feel like it's more interpersonal. You can see their immediate reactions.
And it's bonding between friends that doctoral students Lauren Sherman and Minas Machikian, along with psychologist Patricia Greenfield, who's director of the Children's Digital Media Center, Los Angeles, are studying here at UCLA. Their research begins with undergraduate women who are assigned to 4 separate conditions in random order.
We're going to be doing video chat right here on the computer. And for this condition, I want you to pretend like you're both planning a party together for this weekend. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Rocio will be chatting with her real-life, long-term buddy, Jessica, who's in another room.
Hey girl, we should plan a party this weekend.
I know, I agree we should. I mean, I know you already celebrated George's birthday, but we should still throw a surprise party for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And what kind of cake should I get?
I know he likes red velvet cake.
Yeah, and then the DJ that we know from high school, he could be the DJ, so we don't have to, spend so much money.
Yeah.
As the young women chat, a camera records their behavior, which will be coded and analyzed later. A second condition involves a face-to-face chat.
I want you both to talk a little bit about a trip that one of you had recently. But if you decide to move on to other topics, to chat about other things, that's perfectly okay. And then in about 5 minutes, I'll come back in and we'll get started on the next conversation. But how was your summer?
No, it was really good. Before I started session A, I went to Mexico for like 4 to 5 days. It was really
how was
fun.
that?
I mean, it was pretty quick, but I'm glad I was able to go, just to de-stress.
Again, the camera picks up data, as it does during an audio-only chat.
It would be nice to have twins, don't you think?
Oh, I think so, but that's hard.
Yeah.
And an IM condition with a 4th topic of conversation. Part of the data analysis consists of examining the video for what's called affiliation cues. Here, we're seeing another participant in the research.
I'm looking for head nods, gestures, smile, and laughter. So the combination of these cues are important in feelings of affection towards friends and commitment to close relationships. Now I have to slow down the video so I could capture the length of the gestures, where it began and where it ended.
The video data are combined with self-reports, which measure the participants' subjective sense of bonding and are collected after each condition. The results show affiliation and bonding are significantly affected by the mode of communication.
It sort of followed the number of cues, the amount of information that you could get from the other person. So in person, they reported the highest bonding, and they also showed the highest number of various cues that we know are associated with feelings of affiliation. So they were gesturing the most, they were smiling the most. When we combine all these cues together, we had the highest score.
And as shown on this graph, as participants got further away from in-person conversation and more towards the least personal, text communication, they displayed significantly fewer affiliation cues.
Well, when we see that textual communication leads to the weakest feelings of bonding, and face-to-face communication leads to the strongest feelings of bonding, and then we realize that young people are doing most of their communication through text, it seems that that means that their relationships are not as close as what they have been in the past, when most communication, if not all communication, was face-to-face.
And ultimately, that is how we evolved, is in a face-to-face context. And I do think that it's really important not to simply say, well, all sorts of digital media are bad, they're making us farther apart, they're creating distance, because they do allow for opportunities that we wouldn't otherwise have. And I think it's important to keep that in mind.
So we asked these first-year law students for a verdict.
I think that over social media and text and things, it maintains the bond, but doesn't necessarily strengthen it or establish one.
And down the road?
I think it's really important that we think about the function of social media and why young adults and teens are very interested in it, why it's compelling. Thinking about the mechanisms underlying why we're so drawn to these tools is really important. It's something that I hope to see more of in the future.